Get up, my world is with my girls, living on the dance floor.
Welcome back to Leave It on the Dance Floor. You have been waiting for this moment. I know. I am here with Brady. Woo! Brady from season 8, Dance Moms. But, you know, I wanted it to be sooner than season 8. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
You came to LA. I flew him in, just so that's out
Really?
there. Yes.
So you
I
flew-
bought the plane tickets.
Okay.
And did you take an Uber, or was there even Uber then?
I don't
even
think
know.
we ever left the airport.
We didn't leave the airport.
Oh, you weren't behind the studio
No.
We never left the airport.
in Miami or in
LA.
In LA. You got on a plane. You flew to LA because they were giving me a hard time. What season was that? 6, 7.
Beginning of 6 and 7, like one of those.
The beginning of 6 or 7. So I wanted Brady.
It was the end.
It was the finale.
For nationals.
Yes.
The end of 7.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the end.
It was.
The very end.
For
And I thought, they are not going to play this game with me. And I'm going to get Brady here, and I'm going to kick their butts.
You've had it.
I've had it. Yeah, I had it. So you went to the airport, and did somebody on my end find out that you were coming in? Or was it your teachers? Or was it on the producers?
Both.
Okay, so somehow either Brady's dance teachers contacted the producers and said, what's up, what's going on, or vice versa. The producers contacted your dance teacher and said, whoa, wait a minute, what's Brady doing here? Because they didn't want me to win. And they knew if you came in, all the girls were going to be like, ah. Right. So tell me about that.
Well, I remember there was a phone call, and my mom overheard one of the producers in the back talking like he didn't know I was coming at all.
Oh, for me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
I flew you in.
And then
You'd have been on a donkey coming if they
Yeah.
paid for it. Go ahead.
and then
So-
my mom, I guess we just thought things were like different. So when we got there,
You thought it was all in the up and up, and Abby was just inviting you to come, and it was all good.
Yes.
And then you realized I was playing something behind their backs.
Yes. Which would have been like an epic episode,
It would have.
but
You'd
we
been
weren't
catapulted
prepared.
to stardom right then. Right? And your mother wouldn't have had to say anything.
Yeah.
I would have been taking the brunt of it.
And then my mom just got some feeling, and we just went back to Miami in the same day, 10 hours.
But you were upset.
I was so upset. I was so upset because I've wanted to be on the show for so long, and I knew this would have been like an episode where I don't have to like commit to a full season. I don't have to like do so much. It was kind of like
Right.
a test.
Just show up.
Just to
do
come
your
up and
thing
dance
cause some
and
trouble and
yeah, and be able to like do something. I remember you did like a dance. It was like similar to Where Have All the Children Gone?
yeah, we redid it.
Yeah,
But
and I
it was
so
like more
excited,
dancing, better.
So excited.
So you were technically supposed to be
The boy.
the boy.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because originally when I did the number in my dance studio many, many years ago, I had a boy. And he was pretty creepy. Like he did it well, the number. And Brooke was the teeny tiny little girl in it that's in a shopping cart. We used a shopping cart then. And that disappeared. And you just found those pictures of the original
the
cast.
original,
Oh my gosh.
the original dance. So we just found pictures of them, and they're on our Patreon channel, which is so cool that the fans can actually get to see that now. But that's so cool. I didn't even know that you were supposed to be the boy.
I was sneaking him in the back door. I'm like, come to this
Wow.
door, knock on the door, come in, you're going to come through.
I always
And-
thought that he would just make more sense. I mean, I know that there was a young man named Dalen or
Darian.
Darian, yes.
But it didn't matter. Like, he was there, so they stopped him from coming.
Wow.
They made it a big brouhaha, and it got escalated to bigger and bigger on the phone, like it was nuts. And so then, and now, I think I got to quit talking to her.
I know.
Unless we
yeah.
just throw her out here.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so
we're gonna get Tricia on. Maybe we're gonna try to
we
convince
need
her.
it. I wanted to wait.
Big maybe. Big
I
maybe.
wanted to. I shouldn't have talked about the story till you were on here with him, so that we could discuss it. But so anyway, I think your mother, having been on season 8, and you guys participating and doing the whole thing, now you realize why I had to go behind their backs and try to do something myself. You get that it was for the good of my name, my reputation, my team, the dance, the outcome of the competition. It was for the dance to be the best. And that's why I wanted you to come in. And I'm like, oh, Brady, I could have found 20 guys in LA. But I'm like, let's get him here. This is going to ruffle some feathers. Let's do this. And you didn't have to fight or talk or do anything. You just come in and dance, and those mothers would have been blown away, and that would have been it. So
Brady, what was your like first meeting with Abby like?
ever.
I remember it was at a nationals in New York.
Okay.
And everyone was talking, oh my gosh, Abby's here, Abby's here. And then I think you watched me do my solo in the closing show and then I met you like in the hallway and you were like, oh my God, you were so good. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I was starstruck. And then we took a picture of you stretching my leg and it looked like you were like choking me in a way. You were like, ah, like that. And it was funny. It was like a starstruck moment for me because, you know.
Because I was on
mean,
TV.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
you're on TV, right?
And you seem like a critical teacher. Like you know what you want and you know technique and you know everything. So I was very like excited that you liked my performance.
Because you know she
Yes.
wouldn't lie.
Yeah.
She wouldn't
Yeah,
just
no,
tell
I
you
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh, honey, you were cute. Move on to the next kid. Yes. No, of course. I loved you. I always did. And I always had a special place in my heart for you. And I just feel like some kids should be on TV. They should have this. The young lady that was just sitting here was one of my students who people should know her name. People should follow her on social media. People should, see her on TV, which she has done some television work. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those kids got so famous so fast and had so many opportunities. And I looked at all my other kids that were better dancers and thought, why don't they get these opportunities? Why is it just those kids? There's so many other kids out there with talent that deserve to be recognized.
Yeah.
And you were one of them.
And I'm very grateful.
Oh,
Aw.
that's sweet.
So when you actually auditioned at the LA studio, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
I mean, I saw a picture that
I
is
think
one-
you're little.
Yeah, on one of Abby's old drives of like all just like behind the scenes footage and stuff, and
Oh my
you were
gosh.
so tiny.
I do remember a couple things. We were coming into the studio, we were all stretching, and my mom, she kind of understood like the whole dance moms thing, how it's a pair. It's not necessarily just about
Yeah.
the
No,
kid.
it's not. It's not
it's
about
the
you.
kid and the mom.
Well, originally it was just the mom because I've told you that 100 times. Kids didn't dance. They sat there like this for the camera, and they were interviewed. So as time progressed, now it was 50-50. Right.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't understand that. And as I was stretching, my mom was standing behind me and she was like, point your feet. Stretch, Brady, stretch. And I'm like, Mom, like, be quiet. Oh my God, stop. I didn't realize that she was doing like,
On purpose.
yes,
to
on
get
purpose.
noticed. Yes.
Exactly. And I was just so confused.
So
why she was
that's
doing that.
when Tricia talked back then, not when she was on the show and needed to talk. Yes.
Well, I mean, the episode that we're probably going to discuss a little bit today, Tricia, you spoke a lot. And maybe we'll get her to come on, guys.
That was
Big
the
maybe.
best. That was
It
her
was
best
great.
episode.
So we watched it.
Because she was thrilled
Yeah.
she was leaving. She's like, I'll leave it all on the dance floor here.
Yes,
Yes.
we watched it last night to prepare
Me too.
for.
Did you?
did
Yes.
good. We always like to make sure that we watch. What were you gonna say? Nothing. Okay. So. Oh.
I watched the dance.
Spoiler alert.
I watched the leg. I watched the Sinead Grunge across the floor. I watched it again. I felt exactly the same way.
It is what it is.
Oh.
It is what it is, but
You were taking the high road in the episode, though.
yeah,
especially.
you were a gentleman and
yeah.
you took the high road. But I think also by that time in your life, you had been competing enough to know it's a game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you win and sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And other experiences in your life, other competitions that you went to, knowing damn well that you outdanced everybody on that floor. And for whatever reason, they're not giving it to you. That's how I felt. I knew something was up.
Did
but
you see it coming? that they were gonna just automatically say, "Oh, sorry"? Like how did you find that out? Did you find out at Pyramid just like the rest of the world did and the viewers
When they were
when
telling
they
me to
said
go
that
home.
when they said that you were gonna go home?
It was a complete surprise.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually,
To me too.
I wasn't in the loop about there was a whole someone's going home this week theme.
Oh, so you weren't in that
I wasn't in the loop.
dish with the girls?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember. And then I remember watching the episode.
I'm so glad he said I didn't remember. That's how I feel. I just can't remember. I had
Yeah.
10 rounds of chemo. I just really can't remember. So go ahead. So he can't remember
Yeah.
either.
So
I watched the episode and there's a clip of my mom saying, "Yeah, Brady's afraid too of going home." I guess there was that theme there, but when Abby said that, I was like, I was in complete shock. I remember I like put my hands to my face and it was really
Like I
devastating.
punched you in the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
well, because I mean that was your goal, being where you were. And
But I knew you were coming back. That was the part I couldn't say.
oh, so you didn't tell him that he was planning on it was
I
planned
don't think
that
I
he was
could
gonna
get
come
to him to
back.
whisper to him. I couldn't get to you fast enough because I fought it from Tuesday night all night long. Probably emails 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m. Nope,
my
nope,
gosh.
nope. And then they were like, "We'll bring him back." And then I had to call my attorney, and the attorney called the network that you can't do this. Okay, so let me tell you something else. Shortly thereafter, maybe that next weekend, I like I said, I don't really know without looking at a date book, a calendar. I flew to LA to go to a network party with all the television networks and this and that and everything. So I was with executives that are higher up at Lifetime and even A&E, and they were like, when we saw Brady was going home, we thought, what the hell are they doing? What, are they kidding me? That kid's amazing. That kid's this, that kid's that. So the executives at the network were going on and on about Brady. When we saw that you were sending him home, we knew there was something up and da-da-da-da. So it may have been at the end of the season because they were, they knew he came back. But they did speak to me on that and said, oh my God, it sent the world into like a tizzy that he was going home.
Wow. I'm flattered.
Yes, that's good, right? Everyone was all worked up. See, we could have planned that out if you had at home, there was a recital or a big competition with your groups, and we could have made it out. But they would never work with me on that stuff,
Yeah.
where we could send you home because you had to be somewhere else.
I actually was talking to some of my friends. They thought I had YHP finals that week. And I was like, no, I didn't have YHP finals. I was crying for 2 weeks.
Oh. So the producers didn't give you any kind of inclination that you would come back. Did you hear anything? Nobody texted
Well, I
you?
don't think they knew that my attorney was on it and calling the network and all that jazz. They just couldn't get. Are we all naive here?
Yeah.
His mother wouldn't give them anything. And so they're like, we got to get her out of here.
Yeah,
She's
okay.
not playing ball. And also, when Brady competes and you beat the girls, it's like, he won,
Well,
he's a boy.
For
blah,
me,
blah,
it was
blah.
the same thing, though. Maddie was just beating everybody.
Over and over.
Just so happens that you were a male dancer, and then
Right.
suddenly it's like, oh, this is an issue.
Well, yeah, but that was an issue also because it gets boring when the same person just keeps winning. But so anyway, long story short of it, they were trying to stir your mother and get something out of her.
Yeah.
And they did.
And they did. They did. So then when we wanted to, when you were coming back, they knew that Tricia had it in her. It was just how to get it out of her.
Yeah.
Well, that's the messed up part of reality TV right there. You got to push people to their absolute limit, and then that's what you get out of them.
Yeah.
Did anybody from the cast talk to you in that hiatus?
The girls call or anything.
Were you
Yes.
just ghosted? Oh, okay,
No, the
good.
girls called me
Good.
like every day. They were like, oh.
Because you all were really close. Like the season
Yeah.
8 cast was really close during
Yeah.
the filming.
Yeah. They were showing me like the coffin of
Yeah.
the next episode. And they're like,
Well, I think
"We
that was
miss you."
supposed to be you in there. Like, I don't mean.
Really?
See why.
No, I don't mean if he stayed, he was going to be in it. I just meant it was in theory.
Oh, okay.
That, like,
A metaphor.
he died. Yeah, like, he's
Gotcha.
done.
Oh, that's so
You know,
messed
when
up.
you go, I'm dead.
Realize that?
No, I
Kinda
didn't
makes
realize
sense.
that.
Maybe even more mad.
That I bet that made you even more mad. Oh my God, we got to get Tricia a mic.
Get her a mic.
We're gonna get her on. We're gonna get a part 2 because we always get told that our episodes are really long. So maybe we can get a part 2
Yeah,
with
she's
Tricia.
coming.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
save
get her
your,
on.
save
Yes.
your, save your talk for the pillow.
But that's really
Pillow
interesting. This episode was season 8, episode 5, and you did a group. Actually, you did a solo Swan song, which was awesome. But you were
That's
the
the
lead.
number I was talking about.
Yes,
It's amazing.
And you were the lead in the group dance, King of Queens. So what did that feel to you to like have a Freddie
I didn't
Mercury?
realize till I watched it last night that you had so much solo work. You were like just downstage doing your own solo.
During that week, I got a really big connection to Queen, and every time I would hear like "We Are the Champions" after, I would just like remember that week, and I would just get emotional. But it really was a pivotal moment because I feel like I kind of broke out of my shell a little bit, just a little bit, and yeah, I feel like
Well, I think the solo Swan song was a no-brainer for you.
Yeah,
You had the
ballet.
movement in your body. You had the wings, the arms. You had the legs. It was a lot of borrowed ballet steps, if you will. And the group dance is where he had to push himself.
Yeah.
And am I going to go with this? Am I going to be Freddie Mercury, who had a bit of a sordid past, if you will? Or am I going to just be Brady doing another jazz dance? You know?
And
And,
then
he did. He went for it, and it was amazing.
And you were also, you knew you weren't going to be there the next week. So I'm sure that kind of sucked a little bit to have to do that, knowing, I guess in your head, did you think that there was a possibility of coming back? Like, did you try extra
did.
hard?
I
Okay,
did.
good. So you knew. How old were you that season?
14. I
14.
think.
Okay. So you were on the older side. Like, I
Yeah.
think Hannah was the same age at the time, right? Okay. My God, that is nuts. Abby and I noticed that when we were watching, the interviews were mostly with the moms and the kids together. Was there any time where the moms weren't in the interview with you, or was it just like the two of you at all times? Do you remember?
I have no clue.
You don't? Okay. I'm just so fascinated at
remember.
that because a lot of the cast now, like the former cast members from the earlier seasons, have said that it was so messed up because the producers used to tell them to say things, and they were like, Mackenzie was like 6 years old and having to say like stuff that people are telling her to. So I'm just curious, how is that like being in the interview chair?
I remember my mom kind of like kicking me every time like
Okay.
I would say something. Like I remember I made a comment about later in the season about the judges having vodka in their water bottles.
Yes, that is an iconic line.
She was like, "Brady, why'd you say that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
That was great. No, that was gold. That was something else. You talked about how people may have thought that you were competing or something outside of the show. A lot of people don't realize that you grew up at Stars, which is the studio that Dance Moms Miami featured.
Are we cool to talk about
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what were you there when they were filming Dance Moms Miami?
No, I was
You weren't.
5 when that happened.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So recently, I don't know if you know this, they're doing a reboot. Have you been contacted? Okay. They're doing a reboot of Dance Moms. It's not, they call it a reboot, but how can it be a reboot when it's not the same people?
Yeah.
It's a new show. And I talked to your dance teachers at Nationals in Orlando. I was there, and we snuck into the teacher
At Dance
lounge.
Awards?
Yes,
I was
in
there
Orlando.
too on the last day.
Oh, I missed you.
Just missed.
I couldn't go back again because I could not roll 2 feet
Oh my
without
gosh.
taking 20 pictures with kids. It was insane. You would have thought, I don't know, Tom Cruise rolled in there or something. It was insane. I didn't think it was going to be like that because you know how sometimes the kids at the Dance Awards are like better than that. Like they're the up here where other competitions they would have been.
Yeah.
No, they were crazy. And they were so nice to me and Gil was texting me he goes, "I hear you're at the competition." He goes, "The word is spreading quickly." And I'm like, "Yes." But anyway, we snuck into the teacher's lounge and I said, "So did you submit?" And he goes, "No, but some twit," I think that's the word he used, twit. Some word he used was hilarious. And he goes, "Contacted me and wanted me to send videotape of me teaching a class." He goes, "Do they not know it's recital time? Do they not know that it's competition, that we're all getting ready for a competition?" They called me like a week ago and wanted me to submit footage. I told her to go look in whatever, look it up. We did a show called Dance Moms Miami, and there's footage of me teaching. Hang up.
Public domain. Find it yourself.
So he hung up on her. That was it.
Wow.
So they did not, from what I know, did not submit or do anything with it. Everyone always asks me what kind of dancewear I recommend students have on in class. And I want you to wear something that complements your body and your lines and doesn't become hindering or bothersome when you're working on leaps and turns. Nothing should be flying around. I like bright colors or pastels, something that makes you stand out. Although if you're doing choreography and you're working on cleaning a number, everybody should have the same color on. Whether everyone's in red or everyone's in black, just be uniform, because then the routine is going to look better and both you and your teacher can get out of there sooner. That's for sure. The ALDC online store has new merchandise coming. You are going to love the new bra tops and the leggings back in stock for the holidays. Will be ALDC jackets. Everybody keeps asking for those jackets. Little ones want them, teenagers want them, even super fans want them. So you ALDC elites, if you want a jacket, they will be in to order for the holidays. Now, do you have your warm-up socks, dance bags, hats, accessories? We have all that jazz too. We have hoodies and other fabulous logo wear, t-shirts and crop tops and sweatpants, you name it. We have it for the non-dancers out there too. Just a reminder, my logo wear is the only official logo wear on the market. You can only buy it from my store, not from any imposters with, bad design and bad quality. www.abbyleedancecompany.com. I'm offering you 15% off your first purchase by using the code ALDCELITE. That's ALDC Elite in capital letters at checkout. And yes, of course, we do ship internationally. Stop in to the ALDC LA Boutique Studio if you're in LA. If you're heading down to the beach in Santa Monica, stop by 11316 Santa Monica Boulevard and visit. You never know who might be there teaching. That's right. Come on in, say hello, get a picture taken with me, and just don't interrupt the class, or you will be on the bottom of the pyramid.
Had you, when you were there, had they ever spoken about the filming of that? Did you even know? Did you watch it
Was
as
it like
a little
a buzz
kid?
in the studio or no?
I watched it when I was little, and I remember I went to Starbound in San Antonio, Texas, when I lived there, and my mom was like whispering to my teacher, "They're here."
I just had a brilliant idea. Go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead.
I was like little. I was 5, and I
Yeah.
was one of my first competitions, and my mom was whispering to my teacher, "They're here, they're here," and I was like, "Oh my God, who's here?" And they all walked in, and I was like, again, starstruck, but this time more because there was a boy on the team, and that was just like special to me. That boy teachers, boy dancers. I haven't seen many boy dancers when I was little, so
In Texas.
yeah,
Right.
it was. I always looked up, as usual, as I did with Abby too. And I don't remember much, but I just remember having a picture, and then that was it. I was kind of pushed it
Doing
away.
your own thing.
Yeah. And then I met them later at a studio in North Carolina. And that's when they saw me and Victor and Angel.
I didn't say their names because I didn't know if we were allowed to say their name. I mean, I don't know how they feel. Go ahead.
I think
They're
they're
cool
I think
with
they'd
me.
like
They're
the shout
fine.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Victor and Angel saw me and saw something in me. I was a boy in a baggy t-shirt. I could do an aerial, but I had like biscuits, and I was just little. And
Those are bad feet.
yes.
In case for our listeners and our viewers out there that
terminology.
don't know what that is, they're biscuits. Or sometimes you like biscuit feet that curl your toes and flex your foot, don't stretch your foot, or bricks. Yes. Okay.
And there, Victor convinced my mom to go to their convention in Boston, and then later that year we went, and that's when he gave my mom Cosmo at the bar, and they were convinced to drive down.
And
to
that was
Miami.
it. That was the moment the bond
Yeah.
was made over the Cosmo.
Yes.
Now I get it. Now I get it. See, Tricia and I never really had a drink together. Maybe that's why we never really bonded, because I wasn't cool like that. I wasn't the cool kids. I was at the movie theater with my students,
Yeah.
not in the bar having drinks. I was with my kids having popcorn and a Coke at the theater.
Well, also, Abby, let's be real. One drink and you're sleeping.
yeah.
So-
I'd rather eat the cake than drink
Yeah.
the drink.
But so that's so cool. So then at that point you moved?
Yes, we drove down.
Wow.
We moved to North Carolina. In 2 months after we moved, my mom and I left Miami, and the rest is history. I trained there and continued, and then I
So
flourished.
I should probably ask your mom, but how was it with your older brother and your younger brother, being your mom and you having this relationship with dance and everything?
It was, they've always been so supportive. It
Right.
was just hard being away from them for so long. It was 2 years that we weren't in the same house, and my dad and my brothers were in North Carolina, but we would visit often, and they were always so supportive, and I'm so grateful that they were. And I
They're
remember
going to
every
get you
time.
back at some time.
Yeah.
At some point in your life, they're going to say, whoa, wait a minute. Here. In 2000, in 2000, Mom now owes us blah, 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 blah. Yes. You'll be buying them a house and stuff. You're on your own.
Yeah.
She's going to help them decorate, not you. So now you're living in New York City by yourself.
Yes.
A dorm. I didn't know it was a dorm. I thought you had an apartment.
Well, I'm an ABT studio company, so it's the stepping stone between the school and the main company. So it's they call us like Prudence professional students. So
Prudence.
We're
Okay.
they give us housing.
Proteges.
We're-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just did a show for 18 to 23-year-olds. Now, how old are you?
18.
Professional working dancers. That's what they want to be. And two, but then only one did it. We're going to Kaufman, to the program there. I know you as a dancer. The world knows you as a dancer now. Was there any one moment that you decided, I need to move to New York City, I need to do this, I'm ready, and this is going to be my life?
I mean, I've always had a connection to dance, and people ask me like, when was the moment I knew I wanted to be a dancer, and I can't pinpoint that. I've
So
always
it's
wanted
your whole
that.
life.
Yes.
This was the meant to be.
Yeah.
This was God or whoever you believe in, path to do this. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
New York, I remember when I was 15 or 16, it was kind of the year that if you want to go to a ballet school, it's the time to
Right.
go.
Right.
You know,
Right.
3 years and then you'll graduate, and
And you'll be in the company or you won't.
yeah.
And as a ballet dancer.
Mhm.
So, and that's okay.
And I remember having a few options and all amazing schools, but I personally was just not ready to leave home, not ready to leave
The country.
the country, my mom, my friends. It was just happening really quick. So I stayed back another year, and then in December of 2020, I believe, or 2021, I can't remember. I got an email from Sasha Radetsky asking me if I would like to come join ABT JKO school.
The Jackie Kennedy Onassis School, and it is a dance program. It's a big, very prestigious school here in New York City. And
Affiliated with American Ballet Theater.
this would be the training ground
Mhm.
for American Ballet Theater.
Yes.
The American Ballet Theater. The biggest, the best. All right.
And you know when you have like deja vu or some things just like feel right or you trust your intuition?
Yes.
Reading that email.
I didn't do that too often, but go ahead.
I just trusted my intuition. I was like, this is the time. I'm ready. It feels right. I love New York. I've always loved New York. I felt like I can't live anywhere else but this city. And the next month, in January, I started at the school. And I think it was the best decision for me.
New York or nowhere, right?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and
Once
well,
you-
Miami's a pretty fast city.
Well,
though.
yes, but I
And
just
it's
think
very multicultural. It's very diverse. It's fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's different languages. You know what I mean? So I think New York, it wasn't like he was coming from
No, it
Nebraska.
wasn't- yeah, it wasn't
moving
like a
to New York
culture
City.
shift,
No,
yeah.
living life, and his mother goes out, and his family travels, so the
yeah.
world. So he was ready.
And the
He was
subway
ready.
is a beautiful thing, right?
And I mean, but there's kids 11 years old on the subway by themselves.
Yeah.
Rachel Sage was sitting in this chair the other night, and she talked about, I was 11, and I got on the train and came into New York City to go to SAB by myself.
Wow.
And kids now can't, they can't go to the mall by themselves. So you moved to New York City. Is that a dorm situation then?
Yes.
So you're teaching now too.
Yes, and choreographing.
How is that?
Amazing. I love being able to affect the dance world in another way other than dancing. And, sometimes on my off time, I can just spit out my creativity from my mind without having to, exert my body. So,
Me too.
yeah.
The same thing, Brady. So I saw a piece that you choreographed, and my jaw dropped. And I was like, this is so good. And I immediately told you I need him to choreograph a piece for another little girl. She just left New York 2 days ago. She was here, and you just didn't cross paths. But if you're still interested, we can make that work. She has good legs.
Otherwise,
She
you
just
would have been
kinda-
at that hotel later on, and you would have been at
That's
the
right.
hotel until 12 a.m.
Yes,
so.
we would have
Yeah.
knocked it out tonight or tomorrow or something. We would have knocked it out. So you're just coming back to the city. This is Labor Day weekend. School starts tomorrow for New York area, Long Island,
Yeah,
Connecticut. Everybody starts later. In LA, they were in school in August 1st or something. So you're here. You're back into the program, and now what happens? Take us through a day at
So
work. It's work now, right? It's not school. It's
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Okay.
So we come into the studio around 9:30, and we usually have ballet class in the morning to start. And then we'll have other classes like character, pas,
How to do?
variations.
Spell it out for these people.
Pas de deux.
We have all kind of, these are the ALDC elites are our subscribers. They all get to be on the elite team because they subscribe. So tell them what that means.
So pas de deux basically means either
Partnering.
step of two or dance of two. It's partnering. So we have those classes because it's very important as a ballet dancer to be able to partner. It's
And a male ballet dancer to lift.
Yes.
And safely. And he has to dive under those girls if they're going down. He has to break the fall.
yes.
And not go, ooh, sorry, you
Yeah.
weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with pas de deux comes strength, and we have those classes as well. And then
Is it in the gym?
well,
Lifting?
we have our own stuff that we do, but we just have a regular conditioning
Okay,
class
okay.
in the morning.
Okay.
And then usually after lunch we have rehearsals for 4 hours every day for our rep that we're doing, and then we go on tour a couple times a year.
And where did you go most recently? You have been traveling. Tell our viewers, this is exciting. This, for me, is what makes it worth it. For a kid to travel, and that is such an education in itself. An education that no one can ever take away from you when you see the world.
Yeah. So this past year, we were lucky to have tours across the U.S., but as well as we went to Hong Kong.
Really?
And the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah. Best experience ever.
Did
Ever.
you eat anything?
Oh my gosh, the food was amazing.
Good eater.
Yeah. And in the Philippines, culturally, they usually eat with a spoon. My roommate from last year is Filipino, and he eats everything with a spoon. So rice, chicken, everything, it's fork and spoon. So I was eating everything how they were eating it. And honestly, the food tasted better. I got more into my
Really?
mouth. Yeah. In the morning,
It's
everything.
faster. You can shovel it
Yes,
in.
Yeah.
everything's with rice. It just, amazing. I miss the food.
So you need to go see Here Lies Love.
What's that?
It's a new Broadway show.
Mm.
I said the same thing when someone said it to me. I was like, what? And it's about Imelda Marco and the Philippines.
Oh.
And that was all going on when I was in high school, when I was your age. That was going on, and I didn't even remember. I knew the name Imelda Marco, and there's something about shoes. She had lots of shoes or something, and she's from the Philippines, and her husband was the president.
Oh.
Yes, and he got sick, and she had to take over for him. So there's a Broadway show, and it's interactive. You stand on the floor, and you rotate.
wow.
The floor moves around, and I couldn't sit there with a chair, obviously, but you can. Go to TKTS, get some half-price tickets and go see it
I will.
because it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, what was, your top of the pyramid or bottom of the pyramid moment for being on Dance Moms?
Like the best time we had and the worst time.
So the worst time for sure was episode 5.
Okay.
When you got sent home.
Yeah. Best time? It's hard to pick one.
Oh, that's good.
List a couple.
Well, obviously all of the bus rides.
Oh,
I would just
yeah.
like laugh for hours with them. All amazing
We should have been
humans.
doing what JoJo did, and we should have been just uploading and editing YouTube videos. We were having fun. We were laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And one specifically heartfelt moment for me was like the prom episode. I remember crying because I was just like reflecting on the year, and it was just like an amazing time being in New York too, and seeing, being able to see the show and meeting the
Cast, the producers,
exactly.
and everybody. Yes.
Just an amazing time. And I remember there was like a video of me crying.
Yeah.
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 Really?
Yeah.
At the end, and you were like, "Don't cry," and I was like, "No, I'm sorry."
Not too long ago, I was in the hospital fighting for my life, fighting a very rare form of cancer, Burkitt lymphoma, choking my spinal cord, knocking at death's door, and having to go through 10 very invasive rounds of chemotherapy. I never thought I'd be able to stand on my own 2 feet again, let alone teach dance. It wasn't until Dancers Against Cancer visited me during my recovery to help in my time of need that I realized their incredible mission. They have created an alliance in the dance community that provides financial support and inspiration to dance educators, choreographers, studio owners, dancers, and their families who have been impacted by cancer. The I'm a Dancer Against Cancer campaign was founded in 2012 in response to the loss of a young dancer from cancer. Since then, it has become a beacon of hope in the dance community, uniting dancers all over the nation. Join the fight against cancer and help make a difference with the dance community. For more information on how to get involved and make a one-time or even monthly donation, please visit I'mADancerAgainstCancer.org/donate. Again, please get involved and make a difference within the dance community. Visit I'mADancerAgainstCancer.org/donate.
At that point, like, were you ready for like them to go full-fledged into a new season? Were you there? Were you going to keep going? Or were you kind of like, this was so great? Like, I think that, like, I don't know. I feel like everybody was fulfilled.
I
at
was
least,
fulfilled, for
right?
sure.
I mean,
Fulfilled, but also if they would have pulled the plug immediately,
then everybody would have
if
did it.
yeah, I think most people, you say no, but when push came to shove, everybody would have jumped right back in
Oh,
there
yeah.
because we had something going, and now we can keep it going, and that was their fault.
We built a relationship, and now see
And
where
I
that
love to
goes.
hear you say that the kids built a relationship. And people always ask me, what was your favorite season? And I say season 8.
Oh.
And they go, what? I said season 8 because the kids knew what they were getting into. The mothers knew what they were getting into. You came, you knew your mom was going to fight. You knew it was going to be a scene. You knew people were going to cry. But you know what? Yay, because we're not at home doing what everybody else is doing. We are getting to do something special. We're on TV. We're traveling. We're going to London. We're going to do
Oh my
exciting
gosh.
stuff.
London, those times.
Fun.
Yes.
Talk about it. What did you like about traveling to London, like with everybody?
Was that your first time there or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
London, and we went to like Wales and all around England. So fun. I remember there's like a video of me on the back of your wheelchair, and you're like zooming in a parking lot, and that's about all I remember. I remember we went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and that was fun.
But it was like a dump. Like, you live like by Disney World. Well, sorry, Blackpool, but you gotta step it up. You have to step it up. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's an amusement park. It's freezing cold out, and everybody's riding a ride, and the wind's blowing through your hair, and it's like, no, that is not Disney World. Not even close.
And similar to that experience kind of prepared me for touring now. You know, doing shows
Bus.
where
Be on a
bus.
show.
Yes. Tour life. The best. Love it.
See, he loves
Yeah,
it.
I mean, on the bus. I mean, I was only there for 2 bus rides, but they were long. They were long. I don't know how you guys did it. I
Well-
don't know how you guys did that, but like you said, you had fun with the kids, and
Yeah.
I
In
bet.
my contract, if it was longer than 5 hours, I was supposed to be flown.
Oh. I remember
It's
the
in my
first
contract.
weekend was 10 hours.
But with the chair, it's hard to fly. So by the time you get out of the chair and get on the plane, and then they put the chair under, and then and the whole thing, it's just, you know what, I'm just going to be on the bus.
Yeah.
Because it was just easier. Plus, Jen and I, we would get a lot of work done
Mm-hmm.
on the bus.
What would you say was the biggest thing you learned by being on the show?
I have to think about that one.
Everyone's replaceable.
And I know that we have some listener questions too. Let me
Okay.
see.
I think I learned a lot about, you know, performance and like
Are you saying that because you
Projection.
think that's what I want you to say?
no, because you pushed me there because you always were tough on me, you know, with my face and
Yeah, I want
and
you to
stuff like
perform.
that. And I still it's still one of my weaker qualities, like performance and like what's going on with my face, but I definitely think that you helped me.
Oh, good.
A little
I
bit.
appreciate that comment. Yes, because I don't know. Sometimes when you're so talented naturally, you don't have to do all this. Where kids who don't have the straight leg and don't have the turnout and don't have this and that, they have to do this because that's all they've got. That's how they're going to win it, is with the emotion. Where when you have these lines, everyone's looking at that leg and that arm and that leap and not here.
Yeah.
So I've seen it happen to other kids of mine who were on that different caliber and they didn't have to do it.
Well, I mean, with King of Queens, you used your
You did.
face.
Yeah,
you
you did.
used your
You did.
face in that one
Yes.
for sure, and the Swan song. Like, I mean, if that was going to be your last episode,
You did it.
You did it right.
And
but
we were all so happy. We were like,
yeah,
and then afterwards I was like, I need to
stinks.
see the bios of these people.
yeah.
And you know, we
Yeah, talk
watched
about
it.
that,
We
yeah.
watched it last night and to prepare for today. And I know what I said to that girl. I didn't make a big stink. I didn't cause a ruckus. I just said, "Can I see the bios?" And da da da. And I told, she goes, "Would you like to talk to the judge? Would you like to?" And I was like, "No, honey, it's okay, no problem." And I zoom away. It wasn't until I read it that I was like, "Oh, this guy's from Miami. Come on. And I've had it happen before with some of my boys. So,
Well, that brings us to a listener question. Bertie Boy 05 memes. Thanks for your support. Weird name. How is it being the only boy on the team in season 8? How did that feel for you?
I think it's kind of normal for me. I've always been a boy in a sea of girls, and it's normal for me. You know, in my studio there are a couple more boys, so it's, you know, there's a little bit more distribution. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like different, but it was okay. It was normal.
Mhm.
I, you know, would naturally stand out, of course, just because I look different than anyone.
and
But
dress different. And yeah.
I think that's honest. That's kind of good. You know, we can use partnering and add something else to the dance and, you know,
Yeah.
different dynamic.
Like lifts and
Yeah.
different things
Yes,
like that.
absolutely. I always, you know, I've trained a lot of boys, as Brady heard my stories over and over and over about these boys. But you feature the boy.
Yeah.
If it's a really girly number and it's very feminine and they're in fishnets or whatever, you don't put the boy in it. He doesn't get to be in it.
Yeah, I feel like that. I mean, you know, when you weren't there, they obviously did some numbers, just the girls. I feel like they could have still kept you on and just gave you a solo if it was a number that was.
So
more-
did I.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
am I wrong? Like, I don't
No.
know. Maybe they wanted the drama. They wanted to get it all out
never
of Tricia.
simple.
Yeah, they wanted Tricia to step it up.
So Zoe, you kind of got into this already. This is a little long, but I'll try to summarize. Zoe asked, "Did you go to Star's Dance Studio because it was featured on Dance Moms Miami?"
No, you were there.
No, because
Well, I knew because of them
okay.
Oh, okay.
So
You
like,
did.
first, and then obviously
them.
yes, I met them, and then they were amazing. They are amazing teachers, and
so it's like
it was
a half.
complete coincidence that I
Yes.
met them again in North Carolina. I already met them in Texas, took the picture, saw them, got to meet them. It was great. And
Because
then-
they were on Dance Moms Miami.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he
So-
knew of them.
Yes.
Right.
It was
And then-
more full circle versus
exactly.
the reason.
It was weird how the universe kind of brought
Yeah.
us together.
From, well, I don't know, maybe you don't know, but if those moms on that original show had to fly to LA and audition for a dance show where their kids had to do a new number every week, you wouldn't know their names. Those kids, those mothers would have never jumped and done that. Your mother would have.
Yeah.
Then Zoe goes on to say, what was it like working with Abby versus working with Angel and Victor? Were there any similarities, any differences? What would you say the differences are in your mind?
Or they dance around.
That's a tough question.
I sit. They dance.
Well, yeah, that's one difference. Obviously, Victor, performed and demonstrated himself, right?
Right. Well, I did a little bit. When
Yeah, you stood up
before the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I was,
and
yeah,
even
I
in
was-
the chair, you would walk around and
yeah,
even
but in
do
my
the
studio
arms.
was different than the TV show too.
True.
For years.
True.
35 years I taught.
Both of you guys are similar in ways that you don't lie.
You tell it like it is.
Yes. My Angel, he would like pick me up and be like, "What are you doing?" He would scream at me all the time when I was little. And in similar ways, you don't lie and you can be truthful, and both have a very good emphasis on technique, but very different at the same time. You know, I feel like you'd always correct me like when I get up not to like sickle my foot, or I feel like
Details.
yes, you have different set of details, and then Victor and Angel, always were very adamant on like the legs and the technique when we were training. We would do technique classes all the time. Just different details, not anything necessarily
Right or wrong,
yeah,
just different.
Just different.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that is it for our listener questions. Is there anything else you were thinking, Abby, about the episode?
The episode?
Yeah, or like just based on what we watched
I
last
wanted a
night?
boy on the team for
Yeah.
years, and the Kathy's team, they gave her a whole team of boys, and she didn't know what the hell to do with them. She was not a male teacher. I am. I teach a lot of boys. I train them. I know what they want.
I'm surprised they never brought you guys in for even just Kathy's team, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
He was too little.
Did you ever know Lucas?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. But for those of you who are listening, we always get told, Brady, that we need to do part twos because, the episodes go like an
Yes.
hour or 2
And
hours.
okay.
And I think that we're going to bring Tricia in next week for part 2. So stay tuned. And Brady, where can all of the listeners follow you right now? Because I
Follow
want.
me on Instagram.
Just Instagram? What's your TikTok? Where's
I'm
your
not very
Facebook?
active on
Where's your Brady?
Yeah.
Interestingly, you had more followers coming into season 8 than anyone did. Did you know that?
Really.
What
Yeah.
about Lily?
Well, I mean, the new kids.
The new kids.
Yeah.
You were higher than them.
I guess I've been taking a step back from social media in a way and working more on my training.
Some
And
important things.
prioritizing
Yeah.
that.
Important things.
And
Yeah.
I've been taking the time to like train more in ballet and build my career in that way and less time on social media.
Do you take any outside classes? Are you permitted?
Yes.
You are permitted.
Yes, uh-huh.
And do you?
Hmm.
Ballet or other things, everything.
Hip hop,
Good.
contemporary.
Good.
Yes. I
Good.
was also curious, Brady, what is your, I assume ballet is your favorite style.
Yes.
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, what other styles do you love?
Well, of course, I love contemporary.
Okay.
And, I want to be classical dancer, but I also want to choreograph and dance contemporary. And I always wanted to have, and this is something that Victor stressed for me, to always have so many tools in my belt so that I can do many things. And while I do adore ballet, and ballet is what I'm focusing on now,
Right, it's your life.
I hope I can affect the dance world in other ways with
Great.
choreography and other styles. So I always try to make sure.
And
I
you
do
never
that.
know when there's going to be a Broadway show such as An American in Paris or West Side Story.
Yes, which this
And-
year we learned from Robbie Fairchild. Who
Yes.
was in that, in American Paris. We learned the pot of death.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. But you need to be ready for those. So when you're training in all these other things, we're going to add a voice lesson to this.
Okay.
It's just a half hour a week or 45
And
minutes. Please do it.
Before
Do
I
it.
forget, what was your
You
favorite?
can do
A
it with
couple
that
of
girl's
your.
husband right there.
You said that you loved the prom and obviously King of Queens. What other like solos or group dances did you love?
Can we talk about PTSD?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So he did another solo called PTSD because Brady's dad, for those of you that don't know, was in the military. Is it Army?
Yes.
Was in the Army.
I think that it was like army green color costume, right?
Well, it was
Yeah.
PTSD because his dad was in the military. His dad was in the Army. So I wanted to kind of pay homage to that. You know, I'm always looking for something deeper, a message, a reason. And I personally experienced, I still do, PTSD from being on my staycation for 8.5 months. When I hear somebody jingle keys, like a big set of keys, I jerk and I'm very like on edge. Or if I hear something slam, something fall, something bang, I can hear somebody coming in and slamming my locker over and dumping out the contents. So I wanted Brady to do this because many people in the military suffer from this.
Yeah. And while my dad didn't personally, he's had friends who have suffered from it. So I think it kind of hit close to him.
Yes.
And was this? I don't believe that was the same number where you were blindfolded, right?
No.
No.
That was
Different
another one. How
Yeah.
how did I'm just remembering everything like as we're talking about everything. So how was that like having to perform blindfolded? Could you actually see?
I could see.
Okay.
But it's not the same as no blindfold. And
yeah.
obviously the stage lighting makes it even harder to see. I hate that they kind of painted me out to be a liar on that show, on that episode, because I wasn't lying. It was harder to see. And I
It's
couldn't.
really hard to see the end of the stage, like the
Yeah.
edge of where it stops and drops off.
And spotting too, pirouettes, it's all about your eyes locking on something and then coming back to it. It's hard when you can't see as well, which I still could see because there were tiny holes in the mesh, but it did limit my field of vision and the
Absolutely.
ability to.
Plus, when you put a blindfold on, when you put fabric up to your eyes, you automatically close your eyes. You don't keep your eyes open. It's just a natural reflex,
Yeah.
a human reflex that I do this, I'm closing my eyes. I don't like, if you leave them open, your eyelashes are going to get caught in the fabric and they're going to stay open. You can't even blink. So wake up, people.
Would you say that was the hardest solo that you had to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, understandably. And just really quickly to close this out, like what advice would you give to our listeners?
What about some young male dancers out
Yeah,
there?
young male dancers especially, which I think
Or maybe
the world.
young males who would like to take dance
Yeah.
and don't have the courage.
And I think the world is like full of a lot more male dancers
Now,
because of
than when you started.
yeah, and also because of seeing dancers like you on the show and stuff like that. So, what any advice for them?
I say don't be scared. I think this is what I've learned recently in other countries is being a male ballet dancer is one of the highest like jobs you can have, highest respect for the arts. So much respect just for ballet and the arts and being a male dancer. It's very
Aristocratic.
respectable.
Well, respectable, but it's also prestigious.
Yes.
Like you made it to this point. And that's why many of the male dancers, Baryshnikov, they get to this level and then defect to our country. You know, they're stars over there. Well, he was a star here too, but they're huge stars. They're bowed down to by society because that's a big deal. And being in the school and the
Yes.
world is clapping for you. The world is, you know, at your feet when you get a rousing standing ovation. And in America, that's, you know, the quarterback of an NFL football team.
Yeah. Just culturally different.
So basically, just never give up and don't listen to a thing people say.
Exactly. Because I feel like if you have something inside of you, it's worth it to listen to it. Because I have had something inside of me, and my mom listened to it, and I have listened to it, and so far things are going well.
Right.
Yay.
And I think courageous and to find your path in life so young, you have to be courageous. And I know for a fact it is very difficult for male dancers in America. It is a tough road. And if you love it and you want to do this and you think this is your ticket to a better life and traveling the world and Hong Kong and everywhere, do it.
Yeah.
You can't listen to what people say. And the world is changing. It's evolving, and thank goodness. But you know what? There's still going to be mean girls. There's still going to be jerky guys. There's still going to be kids at school that are getting bullied, and you have to rise above it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more opportunities for you as a male dancer than there were 15, 20 years ago for my boys. And just being able to go to school other ways and do travel other ways and do this and do that. It's just so much more accessible.
Yes.
So please take advantage of it. If you've always wanted to take a dance class and you're afraid or you don't want to be embarrassed, take a class on Zoom, right? Take a class on Zoom, get your feet wet a little bit, and then go into a dance studio
We
and
should
sign
get
up.
Brady to do a class with you
Oh, on Zoom. Yeah.
That would
we
be
could do
really
it.
fun.
I'll do the warm up and
then
the
you could do ballet.
legs and feet, and you could do a ballet combination or contemporary, whatever.
I think
That's good.
I think everybody would really love that. So yeah, tune in next week because Tricia will be on. She's so scared right now, but it's going to be great. We're going to have, I just think that all the listeners definitely want to hear from Dance Mom Tricia. Did you bring your Gucci glasses?
No, I've retired those.
Oh, she's retired them, guys.
They're retired.
Okay.
The
But
Gucci's are gone.
the Gucci's are gone. But Brady, come back anytime you want. I think maybe we'll talk about a more positive memory episode next time because the episode 5 was kind of a lot, but I think that there's definitely a lot to discuss. So
He learned. He got through it. He's better because of it.
yeah.
There you go. Brady, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank
He's traveling the world across the United States and then everywhere, anywhere. So follow Brady on his Instagram. It's at Brady Farrar. At Brady Farrar. And see him. Go buy a ticket and go to the ballet. Yes? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening here on Leave It on the Dance Floor. Until next time, straighten your legs, point your feet, and all that jazz.
My world is with my girls.
ALDC Elites, thank you so very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe and give Leave It on the Dance Floor a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to watch each week and see exclusive behind-the-scenes content like my never seen before pictures and videos from the competitions, some even taken from the wings, classes at the ALDC studio in Pittsburgh, or even our iconic dance concerts, head over to Patreon or become a member on YouTube Premium, linked in the show notes each week. See you on the flip side.